From Fox 55 Sports, this is The Locker Room.
We're back inside the locker room, everyone. We've replaced Justin Prince with a much more handsome man. Reggie Hayes is with us here in the Fox 55 studio. Of course, Reggie, formerly of the new Sentinel, now doing great work covering high school football for SummitCitySports.com. Reggie, great to have you in. How
Thanks
you doing,
for having me in. I'm doing well, thank you.
Appreciate you joining us. And
great season.
It's been a heck of a ride, hasn't it? Especially in the SAC, and we'll get to some of those teams in just a minute. But regular season now in the books. Week 9 is a thing of the past. A week and now we've all been thinking about the postseason ever since the sectional draw last Sunday, and now we can officially kind of turn the page to the IHSAA postseason tournament, and we're going to go through it here class by class. We're going to begin in 1A, and Reggie, there are very few classes in the state that are as loaded as Sectional 43. 4 teams ranked currently in the top 10 in the state. Number 2, Adams Central. Number 8, South Adams. Number 5, Churubusco. All packed into one side of the bracket. Southwood, number 3 in the state, got the best of the draw. Eastside's no pushover, but you got to like their chances on that side of the bracket. So because of Southwood's draw, do you like them as a favorite, or who do you look at as a favorite in this loaded sectional?
Well, I mean, look at Southwood as a favorite to get to that championship game for sure. Although you mentioned Eastside, I think they're fully capable. If you look at who they've lost to, they've played well against a lot of quality teams. So I don't know that they're a pushover for Southwood. But then you look at that South Adams Churubusco game, and I think that's going to be quite a first game of a sectional. When you look at Churubusco and what they've done all year up until an upset loss there, if I look at it right now, I think Adams Central Southwood, it goes kind of according to form, and those would be the championship teams.
All right, so we move on now to 2A. This sectional, not quite as loaded as the one we talked about in 1A, Sectional 34. Reggie, I look at this matchup between Woodland and Bremen as almost kind of a sectional championship game. No disrespect to Central Noble or Bluffton, who I think are certainly capable of making a run in this thing, but obviously we know what Woodland did last year, making it all the way to Lucas Oil Stadium. Bremen's number 9 in the state. You kind of look at that matchup as the winner of that's going to be the heavy favorite moving forward.
Oh, I think they will be the favorite. I tell you what I love about Woodland is the fact that so many times in high school sports, you have a great team, okay? You go to the state championship, and everybody goes, okay, well, they're not going to be as good this year. And that is such a supreme motivator in the postseason. And I like Sherwood Haydock coaching in the playoffs. I think he does a nice job coaching in the playoffs. I like the fact that they are probably wanting to prove that, you know, just because we're not last year's team, we can still do it. And they face a tough game off the bat, so they don't look ahead. So they're going to come out for their finest game in that first game. And I mean, I like Woodland a lot going into this.
We move on to 3A, and this is where we run into our first round of SAC teams. Sectional 28, Lures and Concordia, obviously the 2 representing the SAC.
Opposite brackets.
In that sectional, and I know there are a lot of people pleased to see them on opposite sides of the bracket. They've met, of course, in each of the last 2 sectional championships. Lures beat Concordia 34-31 in 2 overtimes earlier this year. So I assume that they are probably the favorites to make it to the championship game. Reggie, should they make it there, what do you think separates one team from another, and who do you see coming out of this sectional when it's all said and done?
Yeah, 2 dynamic offensive teams. I mean, they really are, as evidenced by the first time they played. I like Lures a lot. I just think they have so many playmakers for a postseason situation with Norman Kanapke and all the receivers that he has, and with Justin Gaston back in the mix, I think is a huge thing for them. On the other side, Concordia shows that they can put up points, and they've been able to compete with anybody that they've played this year. It's probably another double overtime game if it gets to that.
We move on now to Class 4A, another really loaded sectional when you look at number 19. Number 1 team in the state is Northwood after Dwenger lost last week to Snyder. Down on the bottom half of the bracket, you have another undefeated team in Angola. They're ranked number 5 in the state. And then, oh, by the way, Plymouth, they're in the mix for a Northern Lakes Conference title. East Noble, NE8 champs. DeKalb, a very much improved team this year. Culver's always good. Northridge is always good.
And if you look at that, and I think we've underrated East Noble kind of throughout the year. I feel like they've got a team that could make a run in this sectional, and maybe they're the ones that knock off Northwood. But they got to get past DeKalb first, and there's that rivalry there. And Pete Kempf has turned that program in the right direction, so that's an interesting battle right there. Angola, have they played this competition that's prepared them for this? That's a question. Now, last year they went into it. They won the sectional. They got to the point to where they were against Dwenger, and then they kind of like, oh, wow, we haven't faced this level yet.
Right.
And so that's a question mark. I don't know how you pick a favorite.
Move down now to sectional 20, another sectional that's loaded with very, very good teams. We start, of course, with the Wayne Generals, who play Southside. The very good draw, obviously, for the Generals up at the top of that bracket. They'll move on, if they win that game, to play either New Haven or Columbia City. Columbia City beat New Haven 21-7 earlier this season, so expecting another good matchup there. Leo at Jay County, and then down on the bottom half of the bracket, Bishop Dwenger will have to travel to Logansport in the first round. So a lot of people, when they saw the draw of this sectional, very excited that Wayne and Dwenger on opposite sides of the bracket. Do you see those two teams meeting up in the championship, or is there a potential roadblock for one of those two teams or both of those teams on the way there?
You know, every year, and I've been doing this for a few, I've been doing this for a few years, you look at a bracket and you say, this is the way it's going to go.
Right.
Okay, this is how it's going to shake out, and these two teams are going to meet in the championship. And then you get in the first or second week, and somebody runs into a big upset.
Yeah.
Okay? I think, you know, if you look at it on paper, yes, there's no question those are the top two teams, Wayne and Dwenger, so they should get there. But on the other hand, if you get a team like New Haven or Columbia City that's playing really well at the moment, and Wayne runs into them and they haven't seen that type of team yet, or on the other end, you get a Leo who comes in there and has been in these situations before, and Dwenger maybe doesn't have their best game. I mean, you can't necessarily say it's not that it's going to happen. However, I think it's Wayne Dwenger in the championship game.
All right, so obviously in 5A, not a lot to talk about, just a couple of teams with local rooting interest. The Northside Legends, they're at Elkhart Central to begin their sectional 10 run. Down in sectional 11, Huntington North has to travel to Harrison. We don't know a lot about Elkhart Central or Harrison. Obviously, we don't watch those teams throughout the year. The only thing I can tell you, both of them are 4-4 on the season. Reggie, do you see either of these teams, Northside or Huntington North, having a legit chance to win a sectional championship, or at least win a game in sectionals this year?
I don't see either one winning the sectional. I do think that Northside has made that next step up in their progress, and I think next season that could be their opportunity.
Yeah.
That said, if they put together a really special run here, there's not to say that they can't win that first game, and I think that's the game. I think Elkhart Central of those teams is the favorite. So if you're able to knock them off, then who knows what you can do. But again, I really think Northside's probably a year away from competing to win the sectional. And then Huntington North, I think they're probably not quite strong enough this year to win, but they've also made some progress this year.
All right, Reggie, we finish off with Class 6A. Obviously, an all-SAC grouping here in Sectional 3, and here's kind of just a summary of this sectional for you. So Carroll beat Snyder by 24, and Snyder beat Homestead by 16. Homestead beat Northrop by 17. Northrop beat Carroll by 20. So if you go by that measure, Reggie, Northrop is better than Snyder by 44 points, right? I mean, like, that's how wide open this sectional is when you look at it. What do you see when you look at this one?
You know, I think you look at Snyder as the favorite, and then Homestead probably, just because of kind of what they have and have had over the years and their preparation for the postseason. But I tell you what, either one of those first-round games could go another direction. I do think Snyder is so ready to play Carroll again, because just to show, okay, that was not the real Snyder that got beat by so many points. Carroll, you know, I don't know why that they haven't won more games, because if you look at their talent and some of the, especially the skill players that they have, they're dynamic. I mean, that's why I don't think you can just say, oh, Snyder is out to get revenge and they'll just walk all over Carroll. In Northrop, I love what some of their players are capable of doing, and if Bailey Mirzo is back fully healthy to play in that game, that makes a big difference for them offensively. They're an offensive team.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it gets in a shootout with Homestead, That might be your best highlights of the night right there.
He's Reggie Hayes, again, covers high school football for SummitCitySports.com. We appreciate Reggie joining us, and we hope you'll stick around. We have much more coming up in the locker room right after this break.